Good morning, class. Justin here. I hope you're having a really good day today. Today's lesson is going to be the difference between passive voice and active voice. Now, passive voice and active voice, they sound like a very difficult advanced English subject. But after watching today's video, you're going to have a good idea on what the two different voices are, and you're going to know when to use each voice. They're pretty easy to tell apart, but we do need to talk about subject, verb, and object. Subject is the thing that does the action, and the object is the thing that receives the action. The subject acts, and the object is acted upon. Jimmy kicks the ball. Jimmy is our subject, and he kicks the ball. Object is the ball. This is how we usually talk, and this is called active voice. The important part in active voice is the subject. It's when we want to know more about the subject, or the subject is just more important than the object. We want to know more about Jimmy kicking that ball, but sometimes we want to know more about the object. We want to know more about the ball, and it's the ball that is more important to us. When it's the object that is more important, we call that the passive voice. Instead of saying Jimmy kicks the ball, we would say the ball was kicked by Jimmy. Now, the structure of passive voice is object, be verb, participle, subject. The ball is the object. We have our be verb, was, participle, kicked, and subject by Jimmy. Some more examples. The book was written by Charles Dickens. The pizza was eaten by Joe. But when is it more important to talk about the object than the subject? Good question. A common time that we use passive voice is when we're talking about when something was created. The bridge was built in 1985. The book was written by Stephen King. I was born in 1982. Another time we might use the passive voice is when we don't know who or what the subject is. Example, the money was stolen. We don't know who stole the money, we just know the important part, the object, and it was stolen. We don't know by who. Another time is when we already know who or what the subject is. Billy was arrested. We know that the only people that do arresting are the police, so we don't need to mention that. We know it was the police that arrested Billy for stealing that money. And sometimes it's just not important to mention the subject. The room was painted. We don't care who painted the room. The important part is that it's painted now and it looks nice and clean. Couple things we need to remember. Our verb tenses. Our verb tenses need to remain the same even though we're using the participle. So for past simple, Sarah walked the dog. That's our active voice. And for passive voice, the dog was walked by Sarah. In a present continuous form, active, we would say, Sarah is walking the dog. And passive, the dog is being walked by Sarah. And we can't forget to conjugate our verb also. Sarah is walking the dogs. The dogs are being walked by Sarah. Let's work through some examples together where I'll put the active voice on the screen and then give you a few seconds to think about the passive voice. Mom is doing laundry. The laundry is being done by Mom. Shakespeare wrote many famous plays. Many famous plays were written by Shakespeare. The mailman delivered a package today. A package was delivered by the mailman. For this example, we could probably also say the package was delivered today. And that would be just fine since the mailman isn't important in this sentence. The lifeguard rescued me in the pool. I was rescued in the pool by the lifeguard. We could probably leave out lifeguard in this sentence also, since we kind of know it would be the lifeguard that would rescue me. So there you have it. There's a bit about active voice and passive voice. If you learned anything and found this video helpful, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. You can subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate that as well. And if you have any questions, go ahead and leave those in the comments down below. And I'll see you in the next lesson, all right? Justin out.